watching The Breakdown with the Fight Analyst, Garrett Kerman.
Welcome to another episode of The Breakdown. I'm your host, the Fight Analyst, Garrett Kerman. And with us is a very special guest, Vince Vandetta Morales. What's up, man? How's it going? Thank you so much for coming on.
Going real good. Closing out camp nicely right now. I'm loving it.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Before we get into, breaking down the card, that's what you're here for, to help us make some money this weekend. UFC Vegas 32. Great fight card on tap. But we got to talk about your fight coming up August 7th, UFC 266 against Drako Rodriguez. Just want to know, how's camp going? How are you feeling coming into this matchup?
Camp's been great. This is my first full camp in 2 years, over 2 years now. So I'm amped up. I'm over at Syndicate now training. Got a whole stable of great bantamweights and a weight class or two away that I train with. It's awesome, man. I'm pretty grateful for the position I'm in right now.
No, that's great, man. I know you you kind of had over about a year layoff.
Yep.
Could you kind of talk about what happened after your last fight and coming into this one?
Yeah, man. Actually, so I wish I could pretend the last fight didn't happen. Last fight, fractured my orbital very early on, and I was seeing double, and I was having some issues even after the fight for a while. I got back to training in August, and I just started training at Syndicate. My cousin Ricky Simone had a fight coming up, so I went to California to train with him at Team Oyama's, and literally the second day I was there, second week back training, I ended up tearing my Achilles in my right leg, which I didn't even know you could do, and it sidelined me for almost 8 months. So I just got back to training in February, roughly, kind of off and on lightly. Started lifting some weights and moving around again. It was rough, and that was probably one of the hardest things I think I've had to go through in my career thus far.
Man, that's definitely tough. The wear and tear on your body, and it seemed like it kind of got to you and that, but going through that, how were you mentally, going through it, in your mind, having to try to push through all that baggage?
It was a real test, honestly. And so I like to look at the bright side of things, and it gave me a forced perspective on the outside view. So I was still going to practice a lot and actually watching people train instead of actually being on the mats myself, which really let me get a whole new understanding for the game, just watching and being forced to kind of only visualize and go through things step by step in my head. I think it played when I got back to training. It added to my hunger, and I think it helped me level up a little more. Helped me fill some holes, just even mentally, that I think needed to be addressed. And like I said, I'm grateful for the situation, for the position I'm in now. I can't wait to get out there and showcase some growth.
Yeah, man. I'm looking forward to, finally getting back in there. I've been, watching you for some time now, Contender Series, kind of working your way up from there. I know you had a rough go in your last fight against Chris Gutierrez. But I know that was, that was kind of tough to watch. I really didn't like seeing what was going down in that, but while the fight was going on, can you kind of walk me kind of through that experience going against a guy with that kind of kind of game plan? Yeah,
going through it. So I'll be pretty bluntly honest. Was a little. It was frustrating. It was just as frustrating now going back and looking at it, watching it, thinking about it, as it was going through it. Literally, right as the fight started, he blasted me with 2 leg kicks, and I'm kind of surprised it took this long for somebody of that caliber to take advantage of that hole, because that was literally, if we're gonna say I lost that fight with Benito, that's what cost me. It was eating leg kicks, and I used to pride myself on the ability to eat them and walk through. I couldn't eat these and walk through. I ate a couple, and I went to jump right in because I realized I had to get on this guy right away. And he threw a jab, and it hit me in the eye so hard that it pushed my eyeball back and fractured the back of my socket. And so from that point on, I was seeing 2 of them level, in which at first I was like, okay, cool. I've had double vision before. This feels funny, but give me a second to gather myself. And I kept waiting for it to pass. And as I'm waiting for it to pass, I kept getting blasted with these kicks. And I really tried not to make it obvious, but I felt like one eye was hanging real low And I was like, oh my God, can he see that? And I remember having that thought in the fight. And after a minute or so, I went to wipe at it because I was thinking maybe I could fix it somehow. And as soon as I went to touch it, he started blasting those low kicks even more. And it was an uphill battle the entire time. Just to stay standing was an uphill battle. I ended up switching stances, trying to fight out of southpaw for a little bit. Actually landed a couple punches, nothing that could scare him away from blasting the other side of my leg. So, I mean, he had a great game plan. He did all the right things. He's a great guy too. Like he ended up checking on me after the fight and stuff, and I'm like, I'm mad at you. Don't talk to me. But it is what it is. And unfortunately, those hard lessons can be really great lessons, and I'll take it for what it is and just get better from that. So. Yeah,
I'm sure you kind of grew from there. That, like I said, it was a tough pill to swallow. Tough in general to watch. I would never want to see anybody go down the way that you did. But like working on your game plan moving forward, I'm assuming you kind of worked on some things to kind of get better in this time.
Absolutely. Not only like I was saying before, I've done a lot of visualization in my downtime. It's literally all I could do. Just trying to mentally go through it, and then the ability to physically go through it once camp started and everything and adjust to that has been awesome. And it makes me just more and more confident because that's always, like I said, it's always been a hole. And for whatever reason, it was never addressed properly. And it put me in a position where I have to address it. And especially if I want to be successful doing what I'm doing and doing what I love, I have to fix that. So that's exactly where I'm at.
Yes. Awesome. So talking about your matchup coming up against Drako Rodriguez, do you know much about your opponent? Have you kind of looked over his overall skill set in that?
Yeah, definitely. So going into this fight, I'm not too big on watching tape. I just don't like to stay up late overthinking things, right?
Right.
I want to be a professional, and I see that's what everybody's doing. We're watching tape, we're strategizing a little better. We're not just going in there and hoping for the best. So this time I did sit back and watch a little bit of tape. Got to see a lot of the things he does right. Got to see some of the things he does wrong. We're prepared in all areas, really. I mean, he kind of reminds me of myself a little bit. He's got some pro boxing experience. He likes to throw his hands. He likes to fight. He likes to get in there, throw some good kicks. He's got some submission wins. That's all reflective of my style. I think we match up pretty well for each other, and I think it's gonna be a good fight until one of us can't fight. So I'm going in there to fight. Like this is real. This is happening.
Yeah, it's definitely gonna be a good one. I know you guys kind of come forward and look to throw heavy leather, so I know it's gonna be a really exciting one. A really good matchmaking, was done there for UFC 266. You guys have common opponents, and Ayman Zahabi. You got the much better of Zahabi in your matchup. Unfortunately for Drako, he did not. Did you take anything away from knowing that you did so well and he kind of was on the rough side of things?
So I know MMA math doesn't generally work out like that. So I'm not putting a lot of stock into I beat him so I can beat this guy. Like I'm not thinking about it like that at all. Especially going up into that point where he got caught. He was doing a lot of things right. He was landing some good uppercuts, which I think he noticed from my fight. So I think he got that from me, taking credit, until he stopped landing them and left himself open. And I remember I went back and watched this fight with my cousin, Ricky Simone, recently. And literally I was watching it like it was the first time. And I was assessing, kind of breaking down what was happening. And right before he got knocked out, I remember I had the thought the first time I was watching it live, oh, he's right there for that right hand. And literally a split second later, he's knocked out from that right hand. And I remember having that thought. So I believe I'll be able to see those strikes in that manner while I'm in there. Granted, it's probably something he's going to adjust. I'm sure he noticed it as well. But yeah, up until that point, he was doing a lot of good work. He was landing some good leg kicks. He was pushing forward real nicely, kind of bouncing in ready, all reflective of, like I said, like my style. So it's going to be who can really take advantage of the small holes. Right.
I mean, I lost a bet on Drako Rodriguez. I am not gonna lie. So I was a little bit salty in that matchup, but it looked like his over aggressiveness kind of got to the best of him, and Zahabi was able to kind of just counter off of it, and and just catch him that way. Do you think he's going to be coming forward? He's going to be super aggressive. Do you think you can play that into your advantage?
If I need to, yeah. If I can also do the same exact thing, and I think I can do it even better. So if I need to, you can come forward, let him think that that's going to work. I know I fight well on the outside as well. If I see my own stuff, I'm going to be going forward looking for it. So it's going to be a little tit for tat until one of us is cracked. So
yeah, I know you guys, both of you guys got really good slick boxing, really good counters and combinations. So I'm really looking forward to the high level striker you guys are gonna put on here. Win or lose in this matchup, what can we see moving forward? I know you want to take look past your opponent, but like what's your future gonna look like?
The goal right now is making a statement with this fight. I'm not trying to look past it, especially with the position that I put myself in. I really got to take it for what it is. It's a giant opportunity for me to really showcase things that I haven't been able to showcase. So I'm going out there, balls to the wall. Really, I'm ready to make a statement and hopefully get another fight by the end of the year. Do the same thing in that one. Start making some waves in the divisions.
I like it. I like it a lot. Knowing this is a betting podcast, right? Mm-hmm. Do you ever take notice of the betting lines coming into your fights?
Yeah, and I hate that I notice it too. Like most of the time I'm the underdog. The few times that I've been the favorite, a few times it's worked out, a couple times it hasn't. I always look at it. It sits there. I don't like to think about it too much because I've been the underdog literally my entire wrestling career, my whole first few fights up until I won my first title, all that.
Give me a second. Just gotta.
Oh, you're good. You're good. Do you think?
Gotta fix my thing that's falling over here.
Was that a Ariel Helwani moment?
Yeah, my bad.
No, you're good. You're good.
My green screen's just falling over here.
Oh, you're good. I got to get something better than this. This is my girl's black belt in judo, actually.
Oh, really? That's dope.
Yeah,
that's dope. So, do you guys train together? Do you guys, do a little? Okay, just falling over again. Okay. Yeah. You could keep talking about that. Do you guys train together?
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. We learn a lot from each other. Really, we have kind of complementary styles that we really pick each other's brains about. And it's kind of cool to be able to come home from practice and be able to talk about each perspective on it and maybe how we can each do specific things that we can take from that and kind of build on our own skill set. So,
no, that's really cool, man. That's actually really cool that you guys have that, that thing in common. You guys could push each other to, like the next level, and get better at it, But yeah, like I said, talk about like, the betting odds, stuff like that. We're going to be betting on UFC 266. What can you help us kind of, bet on your fight? Like if you had to predict a way that we can get a prop in on your fight, how can we cash in?
Me having more significant strikes landed. In all honesty, every time I visualize the fight, even when it's getting rough and tough, I'm finding a finish. So somewhere in that fight, I just keep over and over playing through it, and I keep finding that finish. So
I like it.
Whether it's early, whether I got to work through some things, whether it's late, whatever. Like I have to
get finished. I like it. All right. So we'll look at that inside the distance prop. I really like that. I like that. I think it'd be a money maker for us in a few weeks. So yeah, talking about our fights this weekend, we have UFC Vegas 32 on tap. TJ Dillashaw is making his return after 2 years on the shelf, and then taking on Corey Sandhagen. What a fight!
That's a fight.
Most likely gonna be number one contender spot there, and I'm really looking forward to that fight for sure. We got, the MMA Twitter fight of the century between Adrian Yanez, Dr. Pepper, Reese's Peanut Butter Cups over there. Oh, man, Randy Costa. That's going to be a crazy fight. And actually, that fight just got bumped up to the main card now.
I saw that. That's awesome. That's where it should have been.
Absolutely. So, this fight card is stacked top to bottom. But I have you here because I want you to help us make some money, help our viewers make some money this weekend. I love getting a fighter's perspective on the fights because, you guys, you know better than I do. I'm just here on an outsider looking in, and I can only do so much. I need the fighter's perspective, to help us make any more money. So let's get into the breakdown on starting on the prelims. All right, our first fight up is in the women's strawweight division between Hannah Goldie and Diana Belbita. Right now, it's basically a pick'em minus 115 for Goldie and minus 105 for Belbita. Who do you got in this fight?
Right off the top was Goldie. If she can get in her range and kind of bully her way the way she needs to, like she's a tank, man. I see her running around the PI every now and then. She looks strong, so I think she needs to use that strength a little bit and kind of just shut down Diana's game. So I'm picking her in my mind, probably decision win.
Yeah, I'm going with the same. I saw a lot of people on Twitter actually going and taking Belbita as a decent underdog. I think she was like plus 140, plus 150 range. Okay. The money came all the way in on her, and rightfully so. I think it's staying where it should be. I think it should be a pick 'em fight. I know Belbita's is much longer, much rangier of the fighter. So Hannah Goldie's, like you said, she's gonna have to bully her. She's gonna have to use her quickness because she's definitely gonna be the much quicker of the two. And I think she's got some power and some pop in her hands too. So I'm gonna have to side with Goldie here. I'm probably not gonna bet this fight. I'll probably stay away. But
yeah, I get that.
Yeah, it's kind of it's a really tough fight, but I think Goldie has I think we'll have the advantage here.
Yeah, I can see that.
All right. Next up, we have a fight in the women's flyweight division between Sijara Eubanks and Elise Reed, newcomer Elise Reed on short notice. Eubanks is a minus 355 favorite, and the comeback on Reed is a plus 270 underdog. Who do you got?
The big favorite. Dang. Honestly, I didn't even get a chance to look at any of Elise's, like who she fought or anything. I mean, she's only 4-0, so my money was on experience. As the odds were showing, that was kind of where I was leaning just right off the bat. I would like to dive into Reed's skill set a little bit more though. So I might do that before the fight, before putting any money. But it makes sense that Eubanks is such a favorite to me.
Yeah, I'd have to go to Eubanks here. I think obviously she's a much more experienced fighter. She used to fight at bantamweight. Now she's back down to 125. We'll see how she looks on the scales there. But she's got some really good boxing. She's been working on it a lot. We know that she's a jiu-jitsu world champion, if I'm not mistaken. BJJ black belt.
Okay.
She's got really good grappling. Elise Reed, I've watched her at CFFC. I think she was a strawweight champion over at CFFC. And she looked good. She comes forward. She throws a lot of combinations. She's tough as nails. I just think Eubanks is just too big for her, too experienced for her. I think Eubanks should be able to take her down, wear her out, possibly even get a sub for I think the first time in your UFC career.
Let's go.
So I'm going to take Eubanks here. Minus 355, not a price tag I really, really like. It was better when she was minus 270, but, she got bet all the way up because people finally saw they did the tape study and really went and hammered her. So
sounds right.
All right. Next up, we have a fight in the bantamweight division between Julio Arce and Andre Ewell. Right now, Arce is a minus 205 favorite, and the comeback on Ewell is a plus 164 underdog. Who do you got?
So is this Arce's first fight at bantamweight?
Not the first fight in his career, but first fight in the UFC at bantamweight.
Okay. I'm intrigued for this fight. I really like Arce. I've liked him for a long time. I think he's got some pretty slick boxing. This is a good fight for him. Ewell's tough though. He's real rangy. I think he's got the longest reach in the bantamweight division.
I think so too.
He must. He's got like 75 or something, right? It's something ridiculous.
Yeah.
That might be tough to work around, but I think Arce's combinations are going to be able to get him in and put him in a position where he could probably get the finish. I really like Arce, his skill set. I think that's my pick.
Yeah, I'm going with Arce as well. I think he's the more well-rounded fighter. We know Ewell, he's got that fighting reach advantage, but he doesn't really use it all that well. He takes one and gives one, which is kind of odd for someone that, uses a jab very well. He uses his reach very well, but he just gets tagged every single time he throws a punch. So, but Arce, he's fought really tough competition at featherweight. Hakeem Dawodu, the list of Moraes as well. Some really good high level strikers. guys that I think are much better than Ewell, much more power as well. Arce still is actually a BJJ black belt. And I heard some of his interviews saying that he's looking to mix things up and not just have a kickboxing match. So I feel like if he goes in there and mixes up the takedowns as well as the stand up striking, I think he can win this all day, because we know that Ewell's ground game is abysmal compared to someone like
lacking in that sense. Absolutely, and yeah, like you're saying, Arce he's well rounded, man. That's a fun fight. I can't wait to watch that one.
Yeah, I'm actually really looking forward to it. I've been waiting for Arce to come back. I know he's been out for almost 2 years, if I'm not mistaken. But it's definitely a good fight for him to come back to showcase his abilities. But yeah, I'm going Arce here, minus 205. All right. This is not the next fight up, but this is what I got up. Is
they moved it.
Yeah, because they moved it. It's the MMA Twitter fight of the night between Adrian Yanez and Randy Costa.
The people's main event.
The people's main. That's for damn sure. This is man. I think everybody's been waiting months for this fight. I'm super stoked. Right now, Yanez minus 230 favorite, and the comeback on Costa is a plus 184 underdog. Who do you got?
Interesting. I wouldn't expect that this fight to me is almost more pick'em, just because they both do so much so well. Yanez is a sniper. He just finds the right stuff. Costa, I haven't seen him leave himself very open to get hurt. And I think I read an interesting stat that he's like one of the few fighters that have 3 knockdowns in his first 3 UFC fights. And
I think that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's got the shortest fight time of all the guys that do have that. Like that's amazing, really. And he's not fighting slouches either. Journey Newson's legit.
Right.
That's a man. And Journey Newson and Yanez, so they both have really good boxing. They use it differently, right? Like Yanez is a sniper. Journey likes the combinations a little bit until he knocks you dead, right? Man. So if Costa plays kind of on the outside and tries to stay safe, I think he's going to get beat. If he's looking to set things up, which he does set things up really well, and look for his high kicks and mix it up pretty good, I think he's going to have some success. It's so hard to say who's going to win that.
It's a hard fight.
I think both these guys probably tool up O'Malley too. I'm just saying that now. That's fun.
I don't think he would ever fight either one of them.
I think you're onto something. Man, so gun to my head, who am I picking? I'm picking Yanez just because we look alike.
I like that.
Yeah.
All right. Oh man, it is a really tough fight. A lot of money has been coming in on Yanez. I think he was minus 170 or minus 180 at one point. So a lot of money has been coming in on him, and rightfully so. I mean, he's 13-3. He's hit the ground running. I think he's got 3 knockout wins back to back coming into the into the UFC. So he's looking great. Costa, on the other hand, he's looking phenomenal too, coming off of 2 huge back-to-back knockouts of Boston Salmon and Journey Newson. His only loss is a short notice fight where he got grappled. It is what it is. But this is not a grappling fight. No one's going to be grappling. So it gives Costa the chance to actually showcase his striking. So we'll see, what happens, especially if this fight somehow gets out of the first round. It's going to be interesting to see what Costa can do in rounds 2 and 3, because we have not seen it. I believe all of his wins are in the first round. Every single one of all 6 first round knockouts.
Crazy.
So, and we know Yanez can go, 3 hard rounds. We know it. We've seen it, on the regional scene, on, in the UFC. So he's got the cardio. It pretty much comes down to durability at this point. And I feel like I have to go with Yanez's durability over Costa right now. We've seen it. We have not. We don't know what we're gonna get from Costa, and with all these exchanges that he's gonna get into against Yanez, who we've known that can snipe, like you said. So I'm gonna have to go side with Yanez here. I think it's gonna be a barn burner. I absolutely can't wait for that fight. Like counting down the hours to that fight at this point.
Yeah, hell yeah, that's a great fight.
All right, next up, we got a fight in the middleweight division between Nasruddin Imavov and Ian Heinisch. Right now, Heinisch is the minus 158 favorite, and the comeback on Imavov is plus 128 underdog. Who do you got?
Gotcha. What's his name? Imavov. He's the guy that beat Jordan Williams,
Right.
and then lost to
Phil Hawes. Right.
Phil Hawes is a tank too. Okay. Huh. I met Heinisch. I like Heinisch. He's part of my. He's on the same agency as mine. He's got the same manager. I like his mind. I like the way he thinks about fights. I like his style when he goes into the fights. I don't know if I've seen enough from Imavov to really bother much for Heinisch. So I'm going Heinisch.
Yeah, I'm actually quite high on Heinisch in this matchup, especially listening to his interviews. He's talking about I need to get back to wrestling. And that's why he made the camp move. He's now down here full time, Sanford MMA, and we know those guys all they do is wrestle. He's getting work in with Phil Hawes, who just beat Imavov.
It's going to pay dividends for him too, I'm sure. So
exactly, and then you got Greg Jones and Henry Hooft. Also, they've already game planned against Imavov, so they already know what they got to do going in. And we know the durability of Heinisch. We know the cardio of Heinisch. Heinisch has never gotten finished due to strikes, and I know Imavov's got the height and the reach advantage, but in time and time again he ends up getting in the clinch because he doesn't know how to keep his distance. He's coming from MMA Factory in Paris. Those guys don't have great gas tanks either. As we saw, again with Alain Badeau in his last fight, and Imavov against Jordan Williams was looking at the clock numerous times throughout that fight. So I think Heinisch just got to keep the pace, keep the pressure on, keep moving. Keep moving forward, kind of make it gritty, get in there, take him down, and kind of just drain it out of him. And I think he gets back into the win column here. And you also have to look at this is the first, I think, striker he's gotten in his time in the UFC. He's been getting nonstop grapplers galore coming in, so he's finally going to get a guy that's going to want to, strike with him, but he can take him down whenever he kind of feels like it. Against on his 3-fight the 3 fights that he's lost in his last 4, those are hard fights for him to out grapple his opponents against Akhmedov and Brunson and Kelvin Gastelum. Those are high level grapplers, so he couldn't really get his wrestling going. So I feel like he should be able to get his wrestling going here and finally get back into the win column, which he deserves.
Absolutely.
All right. Next up, we got this is a banger of a fight. In the middleweight division between Puna Soriano and Brendan Allen. Allen's basically pick him. Allen's at -112, and the comeback of Soriano's at -108. Who do you got?
Puna's my boy, dude. Me and him work out at the PI, not together, but next to each other often. I love the guy. He's one of my favorite up and coming fighters, dude. Really, I mean, he's an amazing athlete. He punches like a truck. You can see that. We've talked about this too. He's had fights where they're only a minute long, and he thinks that he's able to be so explosive that his entire body can't handle it, and he still comes out of the fight banged up, even though he took no damage. And
that's crazy.
I'm just like, that makes a lot of sense looking at you and the way you throw your punches. I think he should be a bigger favorite. I'm picking him. I think it's not going to take a full combination for him to put this guy away, and he's going to land the right stuff and get him out of there probably pretty early.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's just going to take one hard left and to put Brendan Allen down. And we know Allen does get hit a ton.
I would not like that going in there against somebody like Puna. That's dangerous.
Exactly. So I'm definitely going to have to side with Puna here as well. It's just there is a experience factor. What if he doesn't get it done in round 1? Will we see a cardio dump? I don't know. It is a possibility, yes, but I feel like I have to go with the guy that he's got a great wrestling background as well to keep the fight standing. He's been a wrestler his entire career, entire life, so he's got that for him, which is great, and his power is next level power.
That's like mini Francis Ngannou power.
His coach say Puna hits harder than Francis. Like the hardest guy that he's had to hold pads for against was Puna.
Yeah, it's insane. We have a test at the PI, a landmine throw. So we get the bar, huck it. We're trying to see how much power we can generate with that. Puna, I think, holds the record right now.
Holy fuck!
Yeah,
that is fucking insane.
Wow, right?
Holy shit! Well, that's good to know. So, yeah, Puna is definitely bet here, guys. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, we have a fight at 170 pounds in the welterweight division between Jordan Williams and Mickey Gall. Right now, Williams is a minus 188 favorite, and the comeback on Gall is a plus 152 underdog. What do you got?
This is interesting. I'm wondering what people are seeing to make the favorite. Probably the striking difference. I don't think Mickey Gall has the best striking. He's a little gritty. He's tough. I think he's got I don't want to say more. He's got more experience under the lights, so I want to say that might play a little factor for him. This might be one of the only underdogs I'm really picking for the night. I'm thinking Mickey Gall can outwill Jordan Williams.
Yeah, it's tough. I can understand the dog spot here because Williams is only a 12-fight veteran. He doesn't have too much experience, especially in the UFC. But Mickey Gall has a lot of experience. I mean, he grew like everybody was said, he grew up in the UFC, 0-0 coming in, and he's got some good wins over tough competition, and he's fought some really good competition. He had some glimpses of decent striking in his last fight against Perry, but then again, a lot of people have good glimpses of striking against Perry because he's just a walking punching bag at that point. But I also heard that he wants to go in there and strike with Jordan Williams and would show off his striking. I'm like, I don't know if you want to do that.
I think he's lying. I think he's just trying to get the attention elsewhere.
I would hope so, because that's not the way to go, because I think Jordan Williams' striking is actually pretty decent. He's super tough. I mean, he's a dude that knocked out Gregory Rodriguez on the Contender Series. I mean, and Gregory Rodriguez is a tough dude, very big, powerful guy. So be able to go in there against a guy like him and knock him out, I mean, he's got some pretty good striking. So I wouldn't want to see him do that. And I just feel like his takedown defense is good enough to keep the fight standing. So I'll have to side with Williams. It's not a fight that I'm going to bet on per se, but I think he could get it done. Finally get his first UFC win.
Let's go.
All right. Next up, we have a fight in the women's flyweight division between Miranda Maverick and Macy Barber. It's a good fight. Miranda Maverick minus 144, and the comeback on Barber is a plus 118 underdog. Who you got in this one?
Yeah, let's see. So me and Shino, my girlfriend, were just talking about this fight earlier. If Macy fixed her range issues that she was having in the last fight, then she might be able to do some damage. I don't think Miranda Maverick has the level of striking that Alexa Grasso does. So I don't think she's going to have as many obstacles to deal with coming in for Macy. So if she can get in there, she might be able to land some good stuff. I know she started training at Team Alpha Male too, which might help her just be a stronger women in the division. Really, that's going to be huge, especially going into this fight with Maverick. Maverick's kind of a tank, and I've seen her fight way back in Invicta. It makes sense to me that she's the favorite. That's who I'm kind of thinking she might beat Macy up. But I do like the stuff Macy's been saying, which started swaying me just a little bit. I was like, oh, maybe she made the right adjustments from the fight, and I feel like she's in a better place than she was going into her last few fights. It seems like to me. So that started swaying me, but I want to kind of take that out of it and just look at the technical breakdown. I think Miranda Maverick's going to be able to dictate where the fight goes, when the fight's a fight, and I think she's going to be able to kind of handle it anywhere. So she's my pick.
Yeah, it's such a tough fight. I mean, I've been high on Miranda Maverick before she even got into the UFC. I've been watching her on Invicta, and I knew she was going to be in there. I've been watching her since I think she was like 4-0, so I kind of knew she was pretty much she was on that level. And she's looked great. I mean, she's done everything right. Striking has looked phenomenal. Her grappling has looked great as well. She kind of faded a little bit in her last fight against Jillian Robertson towards the end, but other than that, she's looked great. Macy Barber, she came in guns blazing into the UFC, rattling off I think 3 or 4 knockout wins back to back. She moved up to 125. I'm not sure why, but she did. She ran into a little rough patch against Roxanne, but that tore her ACL. Can't really fault her there. And I think the the reason why she didn't do so well in her last fight against Grasso is because it was the first fight back off that ACL. I think it was probably like in her back of her mind, possibly blowing her knee out again. I think it was more mental than it was, physical. Because I think she's got it. She's got the striking. She's got the grappling skills. I think it was more of a mental gap there. I feel like she's going to put on a great fight. Like you said, she's at Team Alpha Male now. I think she's going to mix it up a lot better. I mean, she got three takedowns against Grasso, and I think if she goes for more takedowns in this fight, I think she's gonna have a lot more success. She's a really good grappler from what I've seen, and Miranda Maverick does get taken down. We've seen it on the regional scene. Jillian Robinson was able to take her down a few times as well. I feel like she could take her down and kind of control her a little bit. I'm kind of siding with with Macy Barber here. I think she kind of gets back on track, but we'll see. Very, very, very close fight. Like I said, I'm not gonna go to the book and bet it, but I think I gotta take Barber in this one.
Okay, good. That's a good bet. I like her a lot. I think she does a lot right. That's a good fight. I'm looking forward to that one. Yeah,
it's gonna be a close one. I'm looking forward to it. All right, next up we have a fight at 145 pounds between Darren Elkins and Derek Minner. Right now, Minner is a -164 favorite, and the comeback on Elkins a +134 underdog. Who do you got?
I could see Minner catching a guillotine in this fight early on, just because the way Darren Elkins likes to leave his head kind of hanging when he's kind of lunging for shots, covering distance. He's a dog, so he fights through it pretty much every time, and he makes it a fight. It might be rough and tough, but I think I still kind of see Minner catching his guillotine. Who did Minner just catch in the guillotine? That was Laramie.
Yeah, TJ Laramie.
Yeah. I saw him like. Laramie's a legit wrestler. I thought that fight was going to go a lot longer. I thought Laramie was going to beat him up.
Yeah, I did too, actually. I was very surprised.
Mm-hmm. Darren Elkins, I don't think is a guy that's going to beat up somebody like Minner. I'm picking Minner. Guillotine or decision. Might not be the most exciting fight. We'll see though. Darren Elkins surprises me a lot, and I picked against him a lot, and he's won some fights. So.
Yeah, I know. I mean, like the reason why I don't like betting against Darren Elkins is because when he cashed for me as a +600 underdog against Miroslav Bektic, it's kind of
I get it.
He kind of gets me a soft spot in my heart over here. Like he made me a lot of money that night, so I can't really go too much against him. But I think it's a tough matchup. I think Minner has shown that he's been progressing, since his UFC debut and then moved to Glory MMA. He put on a really, really good performance against Charles Rosa. He got that, that guillotine against CJ Laramie. So I think he really has, he's kind of on the up and up. Elkins, he's kind of on the decline. He had a good performance against Gorigori's last time out. But Gorigori is a kickboxer who has zero takedown defense. We know Minner is a really good grappler. He's very opportunistic when it comes to submission attempts and the guillotines. He's got numerous guillotines. I think he's won almost all but 2 first rounds in his entire career. So that's another good thing as well. So I think Miller's got this fight. He's the younger fighter. We know that Elkins got a lot of wear and tear. He's going to eat a ton of shots in this fight. He's going to keep going forward, but eventually, the wear is gonna get to him, and I feel like Minner should be able to win this fight. And this is actually like the first time I actually took Minner. He's been killing me. He's been killing me. Betting against him, and I remember I was on a podcast like one time right after he beat TJ Laramie. And he was kind of laughing at me for betting against him. I'm like, yep, shows me right. I'm like, all right. All right, next up, this is a good fight too. In the bantamweight division between Kyler Phillips and Harlan.
I can't ever pronounce his name right. Paiva, I just say.
Paiva. Yeah, we'll go with Paiva, right? Phillips is a -290 favorite, and the comeback on Paiva is a +225 underdog. Who you got this one?
Paiva coming up, right? He was a flyweight, wasn't he? Yeah, right. That's what I thought. Yeah. Okay, I thought I recognized him. I really, really like what Kyler did against Song. He kind of out-songed Song. Like, hit him with some hard shots. He was hitting him with some spinning stuff. Like, Kyler is the real deal. He does some real good things. I think it makes sense that he's that much of a favorite. I don't think Paiva's experience is really going to help him all that much, even though he's got like more than double the fights. Yeah, I'm picking Kyler. I think he probably gets him out of there early.
Yeah, I'm going with that as well. I'm actually very heavily invested in Kyler Phillips. Unfortunately, I was only able to get him minus 250, but I just think he's the overall better fighter. He's the BJJ black belt. If he wants to take it to the mat, he can. He's got such a plethora of arsenal of strikes. It's just he's got strikes coming from all different angles.
Everywhere. It's crazy.
It's so hard to really game plan for. And, he's got that swag about him. The Matrix. I like it. It looked like he kind of took a little bit out of the page of O'Malley there, his buddy, because looking at some of his interviews. But, it's cool. I like the persona that he's got going on, and he's just, he's got this confidence about him. And I see a legit contender at some point. I mean, he's at 135 pounds. He's got a good build to him. He's 5'8". He's one of the taller guys. Yeah, I think the sky's the limit for him, and I'm really looking forward to that matchup.
Yeah, I'm going to be watching that one closely. I like that a lot.
All right, we're up to our co-main event, and it's in the women's bantamweight division between Aspen Ladd and Macy Chiasson. Ladd is a minus 188 favorite, and the comeback on Chiasson is a plus 152 underdog. Who do you got?
So I think I fought on the same card as both these ladies, if I remember right. It was Sacramento. Right? Did Chiasson fight on Sacramento? Let me look it up real quick. Now, because now I don't want to be talking out my hold on. One second.
Like it. I just can't remember that off the top of my head.
No, she didn't. That must have been Ottawa, I think. Not real sure. Anyways, I've been on the same card as both these ladies. I've been around Aspen Ladd and her team over at the PI pretty often. I like what they got going together. I think Aspen Ladd's kind of a dog when she gets in there. She just does her thing, really. It was funny. We were talking about, or we were watching that video actually the UFC posted of their in between corner talk with Aspen Ladd, where she just went out there. Was that Yana she put away too? Yeah, that was Yana. She ran out there, giant left hook, and down she goes. That was wild. I think we're going to see a little more of that. I think she's just going to get in her face and she's going to beat her up. She's probably going to see a second round stoppage, TKO, ground and pound.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I kind of see that going on. I think Macy's got some holes, especially in her grappling. Yeah. I know she's big, she's tall. I don't think she uses her length all that well. Fighters are able to get in on her and take her down. And I feel like that's Aspen Ladd right there. She's very good coming forward, putting the pace, putting the pressure, taking you down, wearing you out, and just beating you up. She is vicious, and I think arguably she looks like she's in the best shape of her life. So we'll see how it is, coming off that surgery that she's had. But I think she's looking good, and she was a future contender. She was pretty much going to fight for the belt if she didn't get steamrolled by Jermaine in that first round.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah, but I think she'll be able to get right back into it. Maybe get another 2 wins under her belt, and finally fight for the title.
Yeah, I can see that.
All right, we're up to our main event, a fight that everybody's been waiting for. I've been waiting for. We're like, I think 2 months ago they were supposed to fight. TJ got a cut. It is what it is. Now we're here 2 months later, and we're finally back. Right now, Corey Sandhagen, a minus 200 favorite, and a comeback on TJ Dillashaw, plus 160. What you got in this one?
I love this fight. I'm curious to see how Dillashaw dealt with the layoff. I just saw him at the PI. He's looking shredded right now. He's looking like in shape, ready to go. I don't think that's going to be enough against somebody like Sandhagen. Sandhagen's going to hit you with everything in the kitchen sink. Sandhagen's dope. I think he's on fire right now too. I don't think Dillashaw's going to be able to deal with the height and range advantage. He could get in there, try to get a takedown and stuff. I see Sandhagen being wise to that. So I was watching Dillashaw versus Soto earlier just because I had a great finish. I think UFC must have posted the video or something. I was watching that, and he was doing some similar to Dominic Cruz style footwork before he got in there and started throwing his stuff. I think he was kind of a newer version of Cruz, and they fought, kind of canceled each other out a little bit. I think Sandhagen's like the perfected version of both those guys. I think Sandhagen's the truth right now. That dude's legit. I think he might be able to get a stoppage here. We'll see though. We'll see if he can deal with the. I want to say Dillashaw's probably going to try to use some strength on him and get him down. Probably try to beat him up. He's got a lot to prove going into this one, especially coming off of the cheating, right? Like that's a giant question mark for everybody. Even with EPO, I don't see him beating Sandhagen though. I'm picking Sandhagen all day.
Yeah, it's a tough fight. I mean, I want to take. Man, I don't know who I want to take. I might just lay off altogether. But if I'm looking betting wise, I feel like people are writing off TJ Dillashaw to the point where they're just slamming Sandhagen. Like, TJ Dillashaw is just a nobody at this point, and he shouldn't be fighting Sandhagen. Well, I don't think that really is the truth, but we'll see what happens. I feel like Dillashaw is going to have to do a mix of things. He's going to have to mix in John Lineker approach with, an Aljamain Sterling approach. Hit him to the body, wear him out, take that steam away from him, take that cardio out of him, because Lineker was really roughing him up in round 3.
That last round, that was wild.
So imagine if you have rounds 4 and 5 of that, just keep hitting him into the body, wear him out, take him down, kind of grind him out a little bit, take some steam out of him. You got to take those legs out, because that dude, if not, he's going to dance all around TJ. Yeah. He's not going to be able to really, land anything, especially to the head. He's not going to be able to land probably anything to the head. So go for the body and got to do some body work. But it's easier for me to talk about it, for it to actually happen. Absolutely. I feel like Corey knows that's probably the game plan going in. I feel like he's just gonna be able to stick and move and keep on the outside. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be it's a hard fight for TJ to come back to. To fight a guy that is bigger than anybody's ever faced, that has a extremely long leg and reach against him,
and knows how to use it.
Exactly. It's just. The strikes come from different angles. Better, like you said, better than anybody, better than Cruz. Yeah. So I probably would have to pick Sandhagen, but if Dillashaw kind of creeps up to like a plus 200, I'll take a small dab at that.
Okay, I get that.
I'll gamble a little bit if we get Dillashaw plus 200, because I just don't think he should be that big of a favorite. But I do think Corey Sandhagen probably gets it done and shows that he's a legitimate threat to anybody in that division. Yeah. And he puts a stamp on it. And I'm looking forward to it. That's a fight that everybody's been waiting for. Yeah. So we're probably going to get it. We're finally going to get it. So that's our breakdown for UFC Vegas 32. But before we go, you need a shout out. If you need anybody to shout out, put your social media out there. The floor is yours, my man.
So, I want to give a giant shout out to all the guys over at Syndicate. Really, I mean, this is my first full camp with the full team. I'm super grateful for it right now. All those guys. There's Jay Fern, Cameron Ellis was over there. Ricky Simone's coming down. Giving a shout to him. Everybody, Ricky. It's been so awesome. Huh?
No, I was just saying, Ricky. I'm a big fan of this.
He's coming out. He's going to be in the corner for the fight.
Great.
John Wood's been amazing to have in there and kind of strategize and break things down and help me find a better version of myself. It's been super awesome. So giant shout out to Syndicate and everybody over there. Need me? Hit me up on Instagram or Twitter. That's the best place to find me at Vandetta 135. UFC 265, baby. Let's go.
Let's go. UFC 266, Mr. Vince Vandetta. UFC 266 coming up. No, 265. Sorry,
I got you.
My bad. It's late night over here. It's 11:47 at night. UFC 265, August 7th. Mr. Vince Vandetta Morales, thank you so much for coming on our podcast. Of course, man, it's a pleasure. With that said, we will see you all cashing out at the ticket window. Until next time, you guys have a great night. Adios.